Hi, it's Jan Hamning. I'm here to tell you a story about me. Yeah, it's about me that I thought a lot of my clients knew this about me and friends, but I guess they didn't because I'm not one to really talk about my body when it hurts. Part of my business is being a body worker, a massage therapist. So my clients don't really want to hear about me being in pain. But this story goes back to 2021. I was starting to have difficulty that whole year walking any distance. I even standing, just standing still. Sitting, I was great. Everything was fine. But if I was just standing, just doing something while I was on my feet, many times my right hip would start to hurt. The pain would travel down the front of my right leg through my quad, and sometimes go down the back of my leg and into my calf. This was going on for a while, and I know some of my friends knew about it because we would, be walking. We would go for our walks, our weekly walks, and I'd say, "Oh, I got to stop. I got to stretch. I got to stretch." Well, I just kept thinking, "Oh my gosh, there's something tight going on in my calf or my hip," and blaming everything. You know how we do it. We make an excuse up. It's like, I don't know what the heck I did. I was seeing my chiropractor every other week, like I've done for years. And I love my chiropractor because he thinks outside the box. And it's just like, well, one leg, he'd measure my leg length and he'd fix me up and I'd be good for a couple days and then it would start all over again. Well, it got to be so bad by the end of 2021, the pain that was traveling down into my right hip, mostly my right hip was the majority of the pain, and my right quad. But he's like, you know what? I'm telling you, you've got to go get an MRI. You got to go figure out what's going on. So I did. Found an orthopedic doctor locally, and I think it was January of 2022. And I went and got examined, and they first wanted me to go to physical therapy for 12 sessions. And so before they do an MRI. So I like, okay, I'll try. Well, the physical therapy was making it worse because as the physical therapist and I had mentioned in conversation many times, we don't even know what's wrong. So how could they expect a physical therapist to do the job they're supposed to do if we don't have a diagnosis? But because of insurance reasons, they won't do the MRI till we try physical therapy. I made it through 10 sessions and I finally told the physical therapist I will not be back. I'm going back to my doctor because there were days physical therapy was 1 block from my office and there were days when I couldn't even walk back. The pain got so bad. I go back to the doctor. They order an MRI, find the MRI. They diagnose it with spinal stenosis and arthritis of the lumbar spine. Doctors tell me, well, you're not a candidate for surgery, so the best we could do is send you to a pain doctor for cortisone injections. Well, if anybody knows me that's watching this, you know kind of how I feel about cortisone. But I didn't have a choice because I was not about to be minded for surgery at this point. Okay, I'll try cortisone. I've never had cortisone injections. I've always held off from any pain to get cortisone until I'm like, maybe I'll need that later in life, which I did. So I start going for cortisone injections, which if anybody has done that in the spine, knows the discomfort that it is to get injections in the spine. But it did relieve my pain. I was able to walk and it was beautiful at first. I was going, my first time, I think I went 5 months in between injections before I started getting pain again. And I did that for 2 years, but the last year, the time between the injections was getting shorter and shorter before I was in pain. I did not want to do anymore. I didn't want to do cortisone to begin with, but I kept putting off going to talk to a surgeon, a spine surgeon about this because the pain doctor and the nurse practitioner that worked for him And everybody else in the world kept saying, no, just try it a little bit longer before we look at other options. So I did until I started having side effects from the cortisone injections. Um, 2, 3 doctors I spoke to about and I'll talk about this in another video. I was having problems with my skin, massive bruising, and my skin just ripping like tissue paper. That's a story for another video. The women I hike with every year, we go on this big hiking trip every year, they were the first to notice it. They're like, what's going on with your arms and your shins? I mean, I would start bleeding just randomly. It was just so weird. I finally made the connection that it was the cortisone injections, although 3 doctors, 2 surgeons, and 1 doctor said, no, that's not a side effect. But as anybody who knows me, I do my own research. I start looking things up. I look outside the box like my chiropractor and look at other options. I had blood work and everything was perfect. So I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of no cortisone injections. And I have other side stories with that, which will be talked about in another video. But it's in 1 more week, it'll be 1 year since my last cortisone injection, and I have no pain. I have no pain down my right hip. I have no pain down my right quad. I have no pain down my hamstring, down my calf on the right side. How did I do this without cortisone? Well, let me tell you, because I was just in the process of interviewing spine surgeons. I was going to break down. I'm like, I got to do it because now my skin is falling apart and I don't want to go through the pain of getting injections anymore. And I don't know what that cortisone's doing to my body. It's doing something to my body and I don't know what. So at that time, when I was interviewing surgeons, I started a new training in metaconsciousness. And I started being my own test subject with my study buddy in the class. And this is all based on German New Medicine. And I am here to tell you that almost 1 year after my last cortisone injection, since then I have hiked in the Grand Tetons. I hike in the local areas all the time. I work out 4 to 5 days a week at the gym. I'm doing things that doctors said I should stop doing, but I've tried myself on them and I'm able to do everything. I still go to my chiropractor every other week and I still have stiffness in my lower back at times when I overdo it. But I am able to walk. I'm able to hike in the mountains. I am able to do all my cardio work at the gym and do my weights, and I'm happy and I haven't had surgery. So if you want to know more about this, of how that work in the metaconsciousness that I've been training in based on German New Medicine, how that helped me, you can reach out to me and ask more questions. You can set up a free consultation from my website. We can do it on Zoom, we can do it on the phone, we can do it in person. So I just want to tell you, there's hope. Do not give up. If you have tried, you think you've tried everything. You haven't tried everything. So if you are willing to commit to the time and the money and the energy, and you really want to give it a chance for you to heal yourself, gosh, just keep looking, keep going to people, keep trying things. Don't give up. Yes, I'm not saying don't go to doctors. I love my doctor. We have an agreement. I respect him doing his job by recommending things, and then he respects me when I politely say no, thank you. But that's okay. because I like my doctor. I need my doctor. I go to my doctor when I need him or for my annual physical. But it doesn't mean he was able to help me with this pain in my hip, everybody says is caused from the spinal stenosis. I'm sure if I go for an MRI tomorrow, I'm not really sure, 100% sure, but I'm guessing the spinal stenosis will continue to show up in the MRI and the arthritis in my right lumbar spine, but it doesn't mean I have to suffer with the symptoms of it. That's all I'm saying. So yes, reach out to me if you have any questions and watch for more videos because I'm going to be talking with my study buddy and we're going to go into detail about how the work we went through and it's not easy work, but I was committed and I was curious to see if this was going to work. So watch for more videos on this. And if you have any questions, reach out. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.